Hi everyone. So in our last video we have implemented the onboarding sections and we have completed the UI. So these buttons are now clickable. So in today's video we are gonna learn how we can implement the login with Google using Pocketbase. So to learn that you need to head first to Pocketbase documentation and go to the authentication with OAuth2. So read it briefly here. So it mentions that you need to have client ID and client secret for all the available OAuth2 authentication with Firebase, and it also has a good Dart implementation. So one thing to note that for whatever platform or provider you use for your OAuth2, you also need to set the redirect URL as this and this as mentioned in the doc. And if you read the Dart code, it says that you can use Pocketbase initialization with the URL, and you have to use the user's collection and the provider to make a Google OAuth login, and you can do all sort of things here. So this is the documentation. So just to read it briefly, and you have two more steps to do. So we need to go to our code and open the terminal, and you know that at the very first of this video tutorial series we have created the Pocketbase installations in our PubSpec. So we have already added the Pocketbase dependency. Now we need to run the server. So if you see inside our backend folder, this one, so inside our backend folder we already have the Pocketbase backend stuff here. So we need to first initialize we need to first boot our server. So we need to go to the backend folder. Okay, we need to go to the backend folder and we need to run the Pocketbase instance. So this Pocketbase serve command actually mentioned in the documentation, so you need to definitely read the Pocketbase documentation. And it says the address is already in use. So I have another instance where the address is already using. So now if I run it again, it should work. So this is our Pocketbase instance. So this is our server. So it says the dashboard, so you need to click the dashboard and it will navigate you to this admin toggle login page. So just log in, and this is our admin. Let me zoom in a bit. So this is our admin sections for Pocketbase, and inside the users collections you need to go to the settings and go to the options, and you will see that OAuth2 is currently disabled because we haven't enabled it, and this is the first time we are implementing Pocketbase. So you need to click the OAuth2 section and you need to make it enable, and also you need to go back to their options OAuth2, and you see that there is 0 providers. So you need to add a provider. You can add Apple, Google, and all sort of things. So for this tutorial we are going to implement Google. So click the Google and you need to provide the client ID and client secret. So you need to Google a little bit to how to retrieve client ID and client secret for your project. So I'm not gonna show you all those sort of things, but you can take help from Google or YouTube, that you can easily find so many tutorials about retrieving client ID and client secret. So you need to go to the your Google Cloud Console, and here you need to create a project like this. I have created officer, and inside project you need to also set the URI here. So if you read the documentation, it says that you need to set the redirect URL, otherwise it will not work. So just set those redirection URL here, and after creating the project you will get an client secret and client ID. So you need to make copy of this and put them here. So I have copied one of them, and Here I'm going to paste the client ID, and here I'm going to paste the client secret. So you need to set that and set provider config, and you need to make the save changes. So our Google enabled with our client ID and client secret. Now we are good. So just hide this and come back to onboarding page. So just go back to onboarding page, and here inside it says that we have a on Google login callback. So inside our on Google login callback, we wanna have it implemented with Google login. Okay, fine. So to do that, we need to first create an instance of Pocketbase. So Pocketbase, and that will be Pocketbase, and our base URL is this one. So just copy it here. So you need to read the documentation, and if you read the documentation, you will understand how I am getting this Pocketbase and all sort of things. So I can easily copy it here and I can paste it. So our Pocketbase instance is created. Now we can easily call here. So now we can easily call pb dot. So just copy the code from here. This is says launch URL. Okay. Okay, so it says that or use something like Flutter custom tabs to make the transition between native and web content more seamless. I'm not gonna use the launch URL thing, or let's use that. So if you search in your pubdev launch, so it might have URL launcher, I guess. URL launcher. So URL launcher 631 has the launch URL. All right, so just add it from VS Code. So it will add the dependency, and I can import it from here. So that's it. So once user will click on the Google login, it will automatically call the Pocketbase SDK to do its stuff with Google login. So we need to we can also check if auth data token is not empty. So that means we have a valid login here. Then we can redirect to navigator of context push, and that would be material page route and context, and we can go back to our, is there any pages? We can go to our counter page. So wait a second, what does it say? Okay, whatever. So we have already added our client ID and client secret to our Pocketbase backend, and now we are calling the Pocketbase Dart SDK to make a Google login. So now rerun the app and it should work. So it's running the app. That's cool. And if we click the login with Google, it's opening me to a new page to have a sign in with our my existing email account. So just typing my email account here. I really hate this Google authentication system now. Yeah, I can set my password here. Okay, save it. Use your passkey tab, yes or it takes a time to just simply log in. Okay, I need to open my phone and log in. In my phone I am clicking yes it's me and it will now log in. Yeah, now I can easily log in. So it says they're sign in to office hour. So this is happening because I haven't logged in with my Gmail account in this emulator. That's why if I call this code, if I run this code, it will show the already signed in account. Otherwise it will ask you to log in with your Google first, then you can log in with our app. Now if I say continue, there it says auth completed. You can close this window. So our authentication is done. Now once I click the done, it should read navigate me to counter page. See, our authentication is implemented. And also if you go to our console and refresh it, you can also see that our email and every even the avatar also automatically populated to our user space. This is the very good part of Pocketbase, that we didn't do much coding, and everything is kind of out of box. So this is very easy way to log in with your any OS2 provider like Google using Pocketbase. So in our next tutorial, this is kind of a very beginner work, and this is our initial work as well. So in the next tutorial we're gonna have a proper service locator setup, and we're gonna have routing setup as well. So this is not persistent, right? If you rerun the app, it will not persist, so it will again ask user to log in with Google. So now what is completed, as I have already one account is logged in here. Now if I done it, and this is done. So in our next video tutorial we will persist the user, and we'll also have a better way of navigation.